Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and thank you so much for taking the time to stop by and talk about GameStop with me. It was a green day, which is nice to see. Our calls are absolutely printing, and at one point, they were up 93% and 44%, which is really impressive. So, giving some guidance here in the Discord for that. It's time to scale out. If you're going to sit there on 100% gains and not do anything about it, well, you're a special individual for sure. Like myself, I'm sitting on it. You can't tell me what to do. But, I don't need to be first off. And we're still waiting for the earnings announcement, right? Because that's how a lot of this works is we wait for the earnings announcement for the IV to come up as we have those institutions start to buy in anticipation of GameStop's fantastic earnings, obviously. And then we can capitalize on that pump, scale out, leave lottos, right? Pull a lot of that risk off the table with remaining exposure, which is pretty cool. And the setup looks fantastic moving into this, right? So leaving off with this is a good time to maybe scale out because the S&P 500, the broader market, is challenging that downtrend. But today we gapped up, held it, grabbed liquidity, and I would call this a successful downturn breakout, specifically on the 15 minutes, right? This is our downtrend, and that's a clean breakout. So we're going to aim for our most recent high and then all-time highs as we hopefully march into 700 for Christmas. But that's not why we're here. GameStop looks really, really good, specifically on the 4-hour chart. We have a reversal signal set, and we are breaking through that key level, the 4-hour order block, which I suspected it would be, but we literally gapped through it, which is pretty cool. The potentiality to revisit this area and convert it into a breaker block, an area of support, does remain. So, if we do get a bit of a pullback into next week, this is where we will be targeting. Aside from that, if the 200 can hold here on the 4-hour, which, basically is the same level as the 1-day 50, that looks good, right? Because that's going to be our key level if it's not the 4-hour and we just want to pair the two together. We don't care which two they happen to be. Well, we do. It has to be the EMA reversal, the 21 and the 50, obviously. But the key level can be, order block invalidation or, the 200/50 on a different time frame. So this is looking fantastic for us moving forward. IV is still low, right? 63 is not as high as it should be. I'm looking for 80 plus. Honest, I'm looking for 100 plus, but beggars can't be choosers, and we are having the perfect storm take place here, which is a little suspect, and I'm always that guy, right? I gotta say it how I see it, and the hype now is great, right? Like, oh, I understand, we're all super green on our trades. That's fantastic. But at this point, we may not want to be encouraging those who are not in a trade yet to be taking a fresh position, right? Maybe for this is your last chance, but I don't know. The IV, once the IV's up, you're cooked. I would not be going forward after that. If you did still want exposure and you didn't have it yet and you didn't want to be buying someone's sells, which is exactly what these will be, the warrants. I think the warrants are a really good option. Let me throw those up on the top screen. They're moving up today, right? As one would expect, but I'm most certain that these will not suffer IV crush like the options chain will, which makes it a better tool as it is still derivative-based exposure. It's giving you leverage through the earnings call if you expect a gap up on GameStop's prices, then this would be, following that, right? Not no risk, but less risk with the warrants if A, you were not positioned yet, or B, you were going to start scaling some of these gains out, right? And then you wanted to roll them into the warrants, right? I think that is acceptable. Not a bad move, right? Really smart, and I would definitely do that myself. So, what else do we have? Oh, the Burry hype. All the Burry hype. So Burry started a Substack, which is like an information sharing system. It's basically like newsletters, right? And he shut down his fund to do this. He says it's his sole commitment. Um, and people are really excited about it, right? And that's fine, I guess. He helped GameStop become as successful as it is today, apparently, and he's going to share that story moving forward, which is fantastic, right? Is it the end all be all signifier? I don't necessarily think so. There's a lot of people, tying the power to the players, to Elon with his American flag reply, and then this coming out somehow all links together to the end times, which is the kind of hype that I don't necessarily get. I mean, yes, it's fuel to the fire, and you've got a green position, a nice big old fire, and you're going to toss some fuel on it. Boom, baby, right? I get that. Who doesn't want to do that? But it can hurt people who aren't positioned appropriately, right? So that's why we want to recommend the warrants. If you're not here yet, if you are rolling, get those profits taken out, reduce that risk. If you want to hold, 10% through that earnings call. If your calls, that's fine. And then you want to take that profit out early, put it in the warrants. I think that's really good. If not, just hold the cash. Because I think that a lot of that hype is, again, dangerous. Am I thankful for it? Yeah, absolutely. But, am I going to get behind it and push the narrative that this is it? Man, how many times have we seen that? And then, what is it? It is taking advantage of it just like I would be, right? On that note, if you wanted to sell covered calls, because the IV is going to come out, we have 5 days estimated till earnings, and when the specific date is announced, then the IV is going to climb. And it's a good opportunity to be selling covered calls above where you think GameStop will gap up, because we have to, go into the trade with the assumption that GameStop's going to beat earnings. They're going to gap up, but even though this happens, the IV will still crush, right? Substantially so. So as long as the calls you sell don't end in the money, you're going to, be making free profits, because that IV is, going from 85 to 100 back down to sub 60, like in a week or two. And it's just free profits, right? Just like we ride the wave up, we ride the wave back down. And this is something, again, I've been doing in the Discord for years and years at this point, for free, for everyone, not charging for this at all, explaining everything behind it. I've been bragging about this all week, but I got to lure you guys in somehow. This is the process, right? Sell calls, buy calls. Sell calls on that earnings pump, and buy long calls on the dip. Sell them on the earnings blip, buy them on the dip. Sell them on the blip, but not just sell your longs that you already bought to scale out, but also sell covered calls on your whole position, right? So this is that process that we are continuing to repeat. But again, you need to make sure that you keep your GameStop shares, or you just buy them back, whatever. That is what it is. Sometimes it's the cost of doing business. You literally get to buy them back immediately, right? So just sell at a strike price above where you think GameStop will gap up to. So if GameStop's at 22, 24 going into earnings maybe, and you're like, okay, GameStop's going to gap up to 30, maybe I sell 35s. Maybe I sell 40s to somewhere where I don't think GameStop's going to get to, and then I'm still capitalizing on that crush the way down. Free dollars, yo. So I hope you enjoy that, because that's exactly how it's done. And that's why, again, we wrap back to all this super hype. That's why it's dangerous, because they're juicing that IV, and I guarantee you that they're going to sell bulk calls, whether it's the community at whole or a couple key players as suspected, but there's going to be a lot of calls hit the chain, and it's going to force the market maker to hedge downwards, as a sold call equals a short from that market maker, and then we're going down. Then we get the earnings plummet because all these calls got added to the chain in a negative fashion. The price plummets. rinse and repeat. It's almost like we've seen that happen 2 times already, just recently. So more of the same. It's the same key players involved. You get these YOLO updates. Oh, I bought these out of the money calls. Monkey see, monkey do, and this account does this account does that, and it all comes together to really influence the reader of the form here. So be careful of all that. This is the one saying, oh, it's all related, and we had the CME go down, which is like the options pricing or whatever, right? And because that went down, it's got to be related to GameStop and the Burry tweets. It has to be. What else could it be, right? So it's just super duper dangerous as far as I'm concerned. Earnings coming up is interesting. I seen Regional Foreman post his thing, and we're just kind of waiting on that Power Pack revenue, right? They're explaining how Power Pack revenue is recycled, because you're going to sell that card back to GameStop. They net the commission, and then they're reselling that card over and over again. This works really good as long as people are taking the suboptimal option to give that card back to GameStop, because I know a lot of people are taking that card and selling it on eBay for premium, right? Because GameStop is taking that from you and the others are not. So this, again, really, really works quite well as long as the community is loyal and they're just hustling them back to GameStop. But it kind of does hit a little bit of a brick wall when, the user base is selling those cards now on eBay, right, to individuals who may not have them re-enter the ecosystem for GameStop. So how GameStop manages their inventory throughout this process will be interesting. It would be cool for a more detailed report on the Power Pack specifically as an investor, but it is what it is. I know all that costs money, and I literally don't care. I'll figure it out afterwards. But going into it, it's pretty cool. Thank you for the effort. For everybody, who's done anything for GameStop. I know I'm a massive complainer. I'm always talking trash, angry old man, but it is what it is. That's my angle. I'm still happy to be here and appreciate everybody doing their part, as much as it may annoy me. I actually went through and got rid of all my downvotes today. Oh, no, there's one. So I didn't appear to be too, aggressive. It is crazy how many posts I can downvote and how many upvotes they still all get, right? People are out there calling me a shill, I'm sure. Like, this guy, he's downvoting everything. What's going on? But, I think a lot of it is pushed to suit an individual's position, right? And that may be fine, but we got to be honest about that, right? Okay, so you want tinfoil? You think the Michael Burry thing is great? I got some tinfoil for you. You want to sell your covered calls? Oh, I think a lot of them are naked too. I'm going to be honest. Some big players here. Michael Burry, new CFO of GameStop. Where's the tinfoil now, huh? That'll juice the price. He did say the Substacks will be his main focus moving forward, so probably not. But I had a dream, right? So I wanted to share that for all of you guys. I think that this other group should onboard me. I'd be a key player in helping juice this price up. So this all looks really good moving forward. Let's check out the kitty charts, which look great as well. We seen the RSI the other day, just so low that we expected it to kind of reject a second time off of the 50, but we broke through, which is a good sign, because I was kind of worried that, we were having this relief rally into earnings post RSI dip, and we would bleed down more, right? This was a big worry of mine, as it really looked like it was going to. So, we're kind of mapping a double top here to be scared of, but we broke through it, right? We fucking crushed it. And we're challenging that downtrend here, and even potentially, I don't know if you want to call that a breakout. It would be pretty aggressive too. But, it's there, it's challenging it. And, this is the area, again, for potential rejection, which is, again, why we recommend maybe starting to scale out some of these calls to confirm those profits, as you don't know. We can predict all day long and project or whatever, but we just don't know for sure. So, what else do we have here? The 4-hour PMO, where are you? This is on the 1 day. We have that cross set. So let's have these kind of converge into each other for the reversal, and then they can diverge, right? So this is kind of what we're looking for here, them to come together. We get our confirmed reversal, and then they start to split apart as we maybe see price appreciation. But, it's a long way to go still, right? Yeah, that's basically it. That's all I really have for you guys today. Just big chillin', waiting for that Michael Burry post. If you're unfamiliar, he just kind of leaked some emails, I guess. One was between him and Kitty. Kitty was just thanking him, basically. And one between him and Ryan, where Ryan was, saying, oh, let's get on a phone call, right, if you got the time, which is pretty cool. So, nonetheless, any publicity is good publicity. So it's hard to, not like it. And it'll be really interesting to kind of get an insider's viewpoint on the whole situation, right? Which is pretty cool in a non-typical institutional investor's viewpoint on that, right? Not your typical sellout, right? But we'll see. We've all got our own angles, I'm sure. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's YouTube video. Make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. And, we're doing this all here for free for you guys. We're going to continue to do so. We get 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to open up the Discord. We're currently onboarding some mods to keep you animals in check. And, I hope you enjoy. And again, this is going to be something that we continue to do from now until forever, really. Oh, God. And if you ever want to play some Magic the Gathering, I'm on YouTube as HelloGoodGame. We are playing every single day. I make a brand new deck, which is a lot of fun for the trading card enthusiasts among you. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all soon in the next. Take care.